A house divided against itself shall not stand. When we all began this race far back as September 2023, we all came on board at different times. None of us was interviewed. None of us filled any form. None of us passed through any process. The only thing that made all of us to join the justice movement is because of Mohbad, not his father, Mohbad. We are all craving answers. How did this boy die? Who killed him? We wanted to know the murky circumstances that led to his death. We were not getting information. So people were going on their own to scout for news. Some were bringing authentic news. Some were bringing fake news. By the end of the day, we are all trying to unravel who killed Mohbad. But along the line, we began to see some people being coded as anti-justice. Please, let me be clear. This, my submission, is centered on team justice. I'm not talking about Team Wumi. I'm talking about team justice before it became fractured, okay? So whatever I'm going to say is strictly on team justice, all right? Okay, so we all came on board at different times to offer our help, our assistance in every little way possible. See, nobody did better than any other. We're all little drops that fill the bucket, all of us, at any point in time. But you see, along the line, people were now being called anti-justice within the camp. And that was when the cracks began. Papariano, Lady Aries, Adenike, they were the first people at the front burner. In fact, I think Adenike came later. It was Papariano and Aries. Papariano and Aries, because their opinions were different, but they were still hammering on who killed Mohbad. But along the line, the gulf were widening. People were now being thrown into the anti-justice bucket. Yes, Adenike was on. I know you now. I know you. I follow you on Facebook. That's why I said you came later, you know. But along the line, the anti-justice segment was getting widening and people were getting thrown into it. Before we knew it, Adenike was thrown into it. Before I knew it, Chairman, Yinka, myself, Andy, we were thrown into it. And that was when and Nikki was thrown into it. And that was when I knew that the house is gone. The team justice house is gone. I'm going to take you back. See, I have so many facts to back what I'm saying. But as I remember, I'll be adding up the body, you know, the skin to the flesh. You know, thank you, ma. Along the line, like I said, the anti-justice bracket was widening. I remember when I was drafted in April. On my own, jejely, I just work out, they do my thing. Until I find myself, I used to go to Lori Abi's platform, you know, as a panelist, I make my contribution. Until one day, I heard somebody call out, I intend to work closely with the team justice, and I can only do that if somebody volunteers to work with me. And the only person I know, because I know her very well, I was on the panel to God Made Me, and the person said Crunch Queen. And I looked at the person talking. He doesn't even have a picture. It was just a symbol. I don't know this guy. God knows. I don't know this guy. I kept quiet. He said Crunch Queen. I kept quiet. He mentioned Crunch Econometrics. Crunch Econometrics is my YouTube channel. The guy said, I know her very well, but she doesn't know me. I kept quiet because number one, I was taken aback by the open call out. This platform now, we have about 244. If you were on that Olori Abi platform that day, just say yes. So out of the blue, I was still shocked. The guy said, she doesn't know me, but I know her very well. He now mentioned Crunch Econometrics. Crunch Econometrics happens to be my YouTube channel where I teach applied econometrics. Thank you, Rotel. That was when I said, Omo, this guy sabi me. He said, I know you. I know you on LinkedIn. He said, but the moment I knew you were on Justice for Mohbad, I know you are the one I can work with. He now said, can you lead the movement? I said, lead. I kept quiet. Oloredi said, she cannot refuse now. Thank you, sweetest. It was like drama that day before God and man. Before God and man supreme, it was like drama. I kept quiet. People were on the panel when I saying, she cannot refuse now. And I said, guy, you sabi me. He said, I know you. Crunch econometrics. I said, for you to mention that, you sabi me. I now said, I can't lead, but I won't reject this opportunity to serve. You lead, and I will follow. That was what I said. I said, you lead, and I will follow. Thank you, sweetest. I don't know, said the guy sabi me. And that was the day I was drafted in. Even when I was drafted in that very day, I didn't even know I didn't even know whether we are going to be called. We didn't have a name. We had a group meeting that day. Andy was there. We tried to get across to Gurexi. No, just to cut the long story short, I was drafted in. And I was saddled with the responsibility to market GoFundMe. Because as at that time, Papariano, no one here. Supreme, no one here. GoFundMe. And as at that time, the public opinion, Mumbo, Adenika, they come. I said they come to you, honestly. And as at that time, the public opinion was that the GoFundMe was not moving because of two people, Gurexi and Famuyiwa. As at that time in April, unless people won't lie, unless people are no longer sincere, while all this shalaye, put your ear down, all is well, you go understand the shalaye. The reason was because people were not happy with Famuyiwa and Gurexi, the way things were being handled. So people were not contributing to GoFundMe. So we put heads together, we to make the objectives clear, and I started hawking GoFundMe like gala. I started with the support of my team members. We did the best we could do within the short time. I think we did it for about 3 weeks, and the WhatsApp group was dissolved. I'm not going to go into the details of why it was dissolved, but it was dissolved. And the moment it was dissolved, I did a video the very next day that I am no longer accountable for GoFundMe. Maybe people didn't understand English. Maybe they were so gullible to even understand the rationality. I don't know. But my video was clear. Anything that has to do with accounting for your money, hold Famuyiwa. But Crunch Queen is still in justice for Mohbad. That was the very beginning that people now started, targeting me to pull me down, to tarnish my image. I got information that they already marked Andy, chairman, and Crunch Queen for dragging. As at that time, I didn't even know what dragging was about. To cut the long story short, I now began to see that propagandists, confusionists, negative narratives, some people are master in manipulating people's comments. They will just tweet it and fabricate. And I began to see platforms whereby if you say A, they will twist it. And I'm like, how long will justice survive? I think the final straw for me, we all have final straws. The final straw for me was the Abuja incident. That was the final straw. Okay, the final straw for me was the Abuja incident. But the precursor to that was Yinka's protest. When Yinka had that protest on Thursday, June 13, we were all happy. But by June 14 on Friday, everything came crashing down when Famuyiwa sent her that chat. That was it. And this was a lady who was initially praised. She was now dragged down. Then the Abuja incident came out, and I saw people for who they were. I saw people who were hypocrites. I saw people who were double-mouthed. I saw people who will nail somebody to the cross. I saw people who will nail somebody to the cross without hearing the full story. I mean, I saw the demons come out in people. The people I have aligned with since September. The people I have gone on their panel since September. The people who have embraced me September. I now saw the demon in them manifesting. Like I said, the June Abuja incident was the eye-opener for me. I saw people for who they were. And because I came out to defend Yinka, I have the evidence for that. And I sent some of those evidences to Supreme. I came out openly to defend Yinka. In the background, I defended Yinka. I reached out to some of these hosts that I thought were responsible. I reached out to some of these hosts that I thought they were unbiased. I reached out to some of these hosts that I thought they were not parochial, but I was wrong. Honestly, I was wrong. I saw them for who they are. Some of them will hear me. Some of them will get across to this video, their conscience will prick them. I tried to make a case for Yinka. When the Abuja incident came out, I came out again to defend Chairman and Yinka. I did everything I could. I have all the evidences, private chats. I have all the evidences. But at the end of the day, they believed what they wanted to believe. They believed in propaganda. They believed in spreading negative narrative. You know? And that was when I backed down. That was when I stopped going to some platform because I realized they were of no use. They were of no use. They were of no use. Now, what are we saying today? I laugh and I enjoy the laugh. The same people who are saying Iya Mohbad should not even move 10 meters close to Baba Mohbad. They are now the same people. My God. They are now the same people trying to initiate the move between Iya Mohbad and Baba Mohbad. The same thing Chairman was trying to do in Abuja, that they nearly killed him and nailed him to the cross. Now, let me ask you, who needs to take the trophy? They want to take the trophy. They look at the messenger and not the message. That is hypocrisy in the team. That is just it. They wish they were the one who was in Abuja, who should have made that move. Who is Chairman? Who is he? Where does he belong to? Who is Yinka? They are jealous of Yinka that she staged a successful protest. They wish they were the one and not Yinka. They wish they were the one. And they'll be asking you, some people want to take the trophy. They are the ones that are itching to take the trophy. These propagandists, these confucianists, they are the ones. If it was one of them that led the Abuja protest, they'll be hailing him or her till tomorrow. They will have given that person an award the way they were giving certificate last week. But because it was Yinka, they are now calling her hero to zero. Somebody who chested an assignment that she's not even closely related to. Yinka is not an Aloba. So the propagandists, they twisted every narrative that came out of Abuja. It was from Abuja we got to know that there was a settlement in play. They didn't want that story to get out. It was from Abuja we got to understand the settlement undergoing on the DNA issue. They didn't want that story to get out. That was their nemesis. Who is Chairman Yinka to be privy of this information? They wish they are the ones that came out with this story. Just look at the level of hypocrisy. Look at the level of selective justice in Team Mohbad, in Team Justice for Mohbad, or in Team Justice. And that was when I said to myself, I said, Crunch Queen, you need to identify where you stand. Because I was expecting Baba Mohbad to come out and clear the air, number one, on Yinka, and number two, on Abuja. Because I sat down to rationalize the entire incident. When Baba was in Abuja, he did not even make any effort to reach out to Yinka. On a norm, forget tribe, on a norm, a decent and rational human being will go and look for the person who stood in the gap for his family. Forget Sena Yoruba, forget Igbo, forget religion, forget tribe. If person help your pikin, maybe the person dey Benin, and you happen to find yourself in Benin, you go call the person, Oga, Madam, where you dey? I want to come and say thank you. That is where a rational and a grateful person will do. This is not textbook or rocket science. It's what a natural mind should be wired to do. You find yourself in Abuja. You have been talking to Yinka before then. You talk to Yinka regularly. What should you do in your spare time? Call Yinka on the phone. Madam Yinka, please, where is your location? Baba, what do you want to come and do? I want to come and say thank you. Yinka will say there's no need. Baba will say, Kojo, I need your address. If you respect me as your father or elderly, give me your address. I want to come and say thank you to you and your husband. That is what a normal and grateful, I'm emphasizing grateful, should do. A normal and a grateful person will call Yinka and say, Yinka, mo fẹ́ wá kí ẹ sílé. I want to come and say thank you. You went to a jail, or you went to detention for my son. You were incarcerated for my son. The least I can do is to come to your house and say, even if it's just for a minute, to say thank you to you and your husband for job well done. Baba did not do that. It was also a game changer. And I'm asking myself, is this struggle worth it? Unless you want to be in denial, people. Unless you want to lie to yourself. I sat down and I asked myself, Crunch Queen, is it worth it? If Baba can be in Abuja and never for once thought it wise, thought it grateful, put on the garment of gratitude to look for Yinka. Incarcerated for 5 days. Come on, girl. Come on, man. Come on, people. Enough of gullibility. Edanu. Enough of gullibility. I started pinching myself. Crunch Queen. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Perkins left Lagos to Abuja. Even if it's by air, it is not a short distance. If Perkins went by train, it's not a short distance. If Perkins went by road, it's not a short distance. Perkins did not get thank you. Neither did Yinka Ade. They were told they were on their own. They were told they were on their own. The same person that told them they're on their own for organizing protests is now coming out to tell you to call out the police, but it's in America. It's telling you now to come out to call out the police and government. When Yinka went to Abuja, what do you think Yinka did by organizing that protest? It was to call out the government. It was to create awareness for Mohbad. It was to call out the police. That was what Yinka did. Yinka backed up her words with action. A woman like a man. Queen Amina over time. But you know what? They were not happy because the person who led that protest is not from their camp. So they discarded the message and they were castigating the messenger. Hypocrites of the highest order. Because if they appreciated what Yinka did, if Yinka Ade was one of their own, she would not have received the text she received from Famuyiwa. I said to somebody, I said it openly that night. The highest they could have done to Yinka was one line. Yinka Ade, thank you so much for what you've done. That was all Yinka needed. Not a chat of over 100 lines. You don't send that to somebody who did a protest for your son. No. The least their lovers could have done was, thank you, Yinka Ade, for what you did for us. That was all Yinka needed. But that was not what they did. Define ingratitude for me, and I'll tell you where to look. Divine ungrateful for me, and I will show you where to look. And before we knew it, Yinka was called hero to zero by people who cannot even hold a banner. Yinka was called hero to zero by people who cannot even chest out and say we are fighting justice for Mohbad. Yinka was called hero to zero by keypad warriors. Yinka was called hero to zero by people who cannot even bring out their face, their real face. They would rather use symbol to depict themselves. Yinka was called hero to zero by cowards, hypocrites. That one went. Before we knew it, Abuja incident came on board. And like I said, it was for me personally a turning point because I couldn't even understand the propaganda. How they made a big issue out of chairman and Yinka Ade's visit. They didn't even see anything wrong in Baba Mohbad not reaching out to Yinka. They demonized these two people for nothing. You know why they demonized them? Why should it be them that had access to that information? Why should it be them that saw King White calling Gurexi several times? Why should it be them that observed everything that went down in Abuja? Why should it be them? It should have been somebody within their caucus so that they can hold it down. That's it. And on that day on Lagata's platform, it is a day I don't wish to remember. It's a day I don't wish to remember. And people were whipping narratives upon narratives upon narratives, spawning propaganda, heightening up the polity, bringing out some. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Because people went to see Baba. They now made Baba a superstar. Listen, good people. We, the public, made Baba a star. Let me say it again. Oh. I'm not missing words. When Mohbad was alive, nobody knew his father. Nobody. The public made Baba Mohbad popular. Don't let me say famous. Popular. We galvanized support for his son. And in galvanizing support for his son, it rubbed off on his father. Now, the Baba that became a superstar could not even live up to expectation. You could not douse the fire that Yinka was burning in. You could not douse the fire that erupted from the Abuja visit. Baba Mohbad played dumb as if he didn't even know what was happening. And his stooge and his handlers were heating up the polity. And before we knew it, Facebook took over, their blogger took over, pasting pictures, churning out wrong narratives, and nothing was done to stop her. Nothing. They were happy. You know why? Because the person she is burning is not one of their own. Famuyiwa did not come out to talk the way he was talking yesterday on Joker's platform, telling her to sheath the sword. Dariji one. Famuyiwa did not see those ones. Famuyiwa did not caution the blogger on Facebook to stop castigating Yinka and Chairman. No, he didn't hear it. He played dumb because you know why? They are not one of their own. They can burn like suya for all they care. And they were using emotional psychology because the moment they blog you, you will keep quiet and you're out of the game. They will shut you down. That was the style. Famuyiwa kept quiet. At some point, I was asking myself, is it that they are not seeing? But yesterday, Famuyiwa confirmed they know what is going on. They were supporting the fracas. They were enjoying the fracas. These are the people we are trying to get justice for one of their own. Supporting fracas. When Baba came on live and was talking about Coco and African TV, I was beyond disappointment. And I was asking myself, Crunch Creek, you were right all along. Baba knew everything going on. He sees everything. He hears. He hears. For him to be talking about Coco, 70-30. So Baba, they hear now. So that means he hear when they were bashing Yinka. He knew when they were disgracing Chairman. He kept quiet. He never came out to say, no, that was not what happened. This was what happened. He never said a word. This was the man that we are all rallying around to get justice for his son. What are we talking about? Now look at the incident playing out now. To be honest, I will wrap up very soon, Supreme. Emma Binu, I will wrap up now. But the incident playing out now is like saying justice for those of us they have called anti-justice. The real demons in their midst are revealing themselves. I call them demons. Demons in sheep clothing. Adults, youngs, youths, they are all together. Propagandists. But they are being revealed. Adenike, your prayer is working. Rich Grace, your prayer is working. Those are the two people we know that come openly to pray. All of us too, we pray inside. So let me just acknowledge those ones that come openly to pray. Whether your prayer is sincere or not, I tell you girls, your prayer, they work. Because God is revealing them. They have turned against one another. Nothing can be more beautiful than that. I said it from the get-go. The moment their blogger started blogging Team Justice members and knew this house cannot stand. It's just a matter of time. Who would have ever imagined that Karima will disgrace Comfy? Who would have ever imagined that Karima will go to Lati's platform and donate 100,000? Who would have ever imagined the level of rancor that Tony Peperepe will come out abusing Lati, abusing Jokem? Who would have ever dreamed it? They were all together before. They were all together. Vengeance was one of their own. Who would have imagined that today we will witness such within their midst?
Who will have imagined Afoshe will be brought out?
That Lati will be doing Afoshe on Team Justice. Come on, people. Who say God no day? Who say God no day?
Some people say
Olaide, Daddy York, buy your billions, we come up against Jokem and Lati. Just for an example, who would have thought a day like that will come? Who would have thought? They were all in the same boat. Who would have thought that Comfy would be embarrassed by Karimo? Elo Soyoku Nisale. Who would have thought it will come? These are the people they've given award. Come on, people. Enough of hypocrisy. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I'm not holding brief for Papariano, Nike, or Supreme. They are old enough to hold their own, or Yinka. No. But I needed to bring them to make my submission more concrete. And Nikki, what did Nikki buy for their hand? Is it not in this justice for Mohbad that we heard that they are taking people's name to the oracle? People like Lighton, people like Ajoke, Alaja Ajoke, Abi Alaja Ajike. We did justice for Mohbad. What are we talking about? A house divided against itself cannot stand. Let me tell you again, Team Baba Mohbad, I Crunch Queen, I am for Team Mohbad, and I go nowhere. Your name maligning, your mudslinging, your slander, so much.